This is Sports Guy Ron. I'm here with my Week 2 results of the NFL this week and the Thursday night game discussion and prediction for Week 3. Okay, and the first game we have was Baltimore 41, Cleveland 17. I predicted Baltimore to win, that was correct. I predicted Cleveland to cover, that was incorrect. The key player stat, POS, Cleveland 2 turnovers that directly led to 2 touchdowns for Baltimore. One on a return and one indirectly, but on the drive they got it. The stats were really not very exciting in this game, but Baltimore made all the plays, Cleveland made all the mistakes. Same old, and Baltimore dominated. The second game of the week, we have Cincinnati beating Jacksonville 31-27. Cincinnati made a comeback with Jake Browning coming in to relieve Burrow. The key player stat, Burrow has turf toe, torn ligaments in his toe supposedly. He's supposedly out indefinitely, which is at least 3 months. So best case scenario, he's back just in time for the playoffs, but likely it's not the best case scenario. Well, we'll see. I did predict Cincinnati to win and to cover. Both were correct. The next game, probably the game of the weekend, Dallas 40, the Giants 37, overtime win. I did predict Dallas to win. They did not cover the spread, so that's a loss. It was a back and forth game, lots of scoring, lots of plays, lots of big plays. The key player stat was Russell Wilson, 450 yards passing. Malik Neighbors, Wan'Dale Robinson, well over 100 yards receiving. Dallas, CeeDee Lamb had over 100. Dak threw for 350. It was back and forth. Dallas just, Brandon Aubrey made a 64-yard field goal again. He won it in overtime with the field goal. So that's pretty much what happened. Really exciting game. Good to watch the highlights for. And wish that all the Dallas Giants games were that good. Next game on the schedule, Detroit 52, Chicago 21. Dominant performance by the Lions to bounce back. I did have them to win and to cover. That was correct. Detroit had 511 total yards. They had 177 rushing yards. If you remember what I said about week 1, I was pretty, they did not play their game. Detroit did not play their game against Green Bay. I don't know if that was because of Green Bay. It's a lot different competition. But what happened was that Detroit got the running game going and everything took off. Then Goff was able to throw. Amon-Ra had a big game. Jameson Williams had a big game. Both the running backs had a big game. Everybody had a big game for Detroit. The next game, New England beat Miami 33-27. I won on predicting New England and against the spread on that one. I got off to a good start at 1 o'clock. It went downhill after that. I'll just say that. And the key stat was Antonio Gibson. He had a 90-yard kickoff return late for a touchdown. That provided the difference in the game for New England. It was a big play, special teams. That pretty much decided the game. Miami looked a lot better on offense in this game, but it wasn't enough because special teams let them down on that play. The next game, Buffalo dominated the New York Jets 30-10. Buffalo won. I had them winning. That was correct. I had them covering. That was also correct. Total yards was the key stat of the game. Buffalo had 403. Jets had 154. Justin Fields, the quarterback of the New York Jets, got hurt, a concussion. He's out for week 3, already been declared. So that's going to be a big thing coming up. Tyrod Taylor finished the game. He'll start week 3. So we'll see what happens there. Next game, San Francisco beat New Orleans 26-21. New Orleans was pretty competitive again. I did have San Francisco to win and to cover, and I won both of those. The key stat was pretty even game. Third down, though, San Francisco's 8 of 15, New Orleans 4 for 11. That's really most of the difference in the game. San Francisco had a new kicker. He missed one, but then kicked well after that. So that's the difference in the game. It was kind of a nondescript game, but San Francisco got the win they were looking for. Next game, we have Seattle beating Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh 31-17. I had picked Pittsburgh to win and to cover. That was incorrect. The key players or stats in the game: Sam Darnold had almost 300 yards passing. Kenneth Walker had 100 yards rushing and a touchdown. Jackson Smith and Jigba had over 100 yards receiving. When you have a threesome like that going for you, it's hard to lose when the turnover battle is, pretty much a wash. The next game, we have the Rams 33, Tennessee 19. Tennessee's offense was better this week. You figured Cam Ward's going to get a little better as time goes by, so he was better, but it wasn't good enough. Devontae Adams had over 100 yards receiving and a touchdown. Puka Nacua had over 100 combined yards rushing and receiving. He also had a 45-yard touchdown run early in the game to start the Rams off. So they had big plays, and that's what led them to victory. The next game, Arizona 27, Carolina 22. I predicted Arizona to win. I won that. I predicted Arizona to cover. I lost that. How I lost it, I have no idea. Well, I do have an idea. Jonathan Gannon went into turtle mode. They were up 27-3. That's the key stat of the game. They were up 27-3. Went totally conservative. Carolina actually had a chance at the end, but could not come over the top to beat Arizona. Although I would have liked to have seen it just because Arizona deserved it for how conservative their game plan went at the end. The next game, Indianapolis 29, Denver 28. This was a very good game. Two very good teams, in my opinion. Back and forth a lot, and it was really close. Denver had a 2-point lead. I predicted them to win and to cover. The spread was 2 points. I would have won that, except Indianapolis kicked a field goal at the end of the game. They had attempted a 60-yard field goal that was shortened to the right. However, there was a flag for leverage. It gets called not very often. I don't see where the real leverage was on that one. I did see them make contact with the snapper, which you're not allowed to do, which would have been a penalty. But that's not exactly what they called, I don't believe. I don't know. But anyways, Spencer Schrader got to kick it again from 45 or so, and he put it through the uprights. They win 29-28. Good game. I hate seeing games come down to something being called that's not a usual call. But if it's a penalty, it's a penalty, I guess. In the Super Bowl rematch, Philadelphia beat Kansas City in Kansas City 20-17. We have a little more controversy, so to speak, in this game. It was a back and forth game. It wasn't a whole lot of difference in stats. I did pick Kansas City to win and to cover. I lost both of those. The controversy surrounding the tush push again. I think we decided in the offseason that, just because Philadelphia is really good at that play doesn't mean you should ban it, even though it's not fun to watch. And for all the other reasons, supposedly injuries, which I don't really think happens very often, but whatever. But we did see new things here. This play is impossible for the officials, as they are on the field, to properly officiate it. There was offsides on the offense, offsides on the defense, false starts, all of which not called, and I don't know what to do with it. I think it's going to go away now, next off season, because of this, but who knows? In the NFL, you never know. But it was a good game. Kansas City's now 0-2 interesting to see where it goes from there. They'll be getting guys back. They should be better in the second half of the season. We'll see. The Sunday night game was not much of a game. Atlanta won 22-6. I did pick Atlanta to cover. I did pick Minnesota to win, which I did not get correct. J.J. McCarthy injured himself late in that game. Has a high ankle sprain. He will not be playing this coming week. It'll be Carson Wentz starting. Atlanta, the big stat of the game, 218 rushing yards. Minnesota just couldn't stop them. They tried run blitzing. They tried, putting more people in the box. Didn't matter if it was Tyler Algier or if it was Bijan Robinson. They just got it done. They totally dominated the game. Minnesota really wasn't in the game. Their offensive line was not blocking very well. I know they've got Darisaw out, but you have offensive line injuries, but then you gotta overcome them. That's where your depth comes in. That's part of your team. So I don't know what's going to happen from here for Minnesota. I know they're going to be heading over to Europe for 2 games. So eventually here coming up. So we'll see what happens if they wait, because there's a bye after those 2 games. If McCarthy's out all the way through the bye, to come back, give him a breather and get him healthy. We'll see. In the first Monday night game, Tampa Bay 22, Houston 19. I missed that prediction. I thought Houston would do it at home. It was a good game. It was back and forth. But if you give Baker Mayfield the ball in the fourth quarter, apparently you're going to lose at the end of the game, because he took him down the field. Rashad White had a touchdown with 6 seconds left with the aid of some penalties. So that's pretty much where the game finished up. They won by 3, and not much more to say except Tampa Bay. They're winning, and they're winning, doing whatever they need to do. Houston's losing. So the second Monday night game is the Chargers 20, Las Vegas Raiders 9. I picked the Chargers to win. I was correct. I picked Vegas to cover. I lost that. The key stat of the game was Geno Smith with 3 interceptions. It wasn't a whole lot of, great offense, great defense. It was kind of back and forth. Justin Herbert did throw 2 touchdown passes, one to Quentin Johnson, one to Keenan Allen, who looks good. He's had 2 touchdowns the first 2 games. But really, the 3 interceptions that pretty much killed Vegas' chance to even be competitive. Last Thursday's game, Green Bay beat Washington 27-18. I did pick Green Bay to win. I picked Washington to cover. That was erroneous. The key stat of the game was Tucker Kraft, 6 catches for 124 yards, a pretty long touchdown. No turnovers in the game. Green Bay just... they pretty much got ahead, and Washington tried to make a comeback, but it just wasn't enough. Okay, so for week 3, the Thursday night game is the Miami Dolphins 0-2 at the Buffalo Bills 2-0. As of now, the spread on the game is 11.5 points. Buffalo is favored by. I'm taking Buffalo to win, and I'm taking them to cover. Key information for the game for the Bills: Sean McDermott does well against the Dolphins. His record is 15-2 in his career as the coach of the Bills against the Dolphins. Key injuries: Ed Oliver's out, Matt Milano is out. That's going to be big on their defense. A couple of young guys are going to have to step in. I think their 3rd round draft pick is defensive tackle is going to start for Oliver. I think it's going to be committee to fill in for Milano. Josh Allen's the MVP. He's played like it again the first 2 weeks, especially week 1 against Baltimore. You have on the Dolphins side, you have Mike McDaniel. He's 1-6 against the Bills. Complete opposite almost of McDermott. Storm Duck and Melifonwu, 2 starting secondary people, are out for Miami. You have Jalen Waddle, very good wide receivers, probably one of the better second wide receivers in the league. You have Chop Robinson, one of their pass rushers, questionable. Tua so far this year has not played like Allen. He's had 8 sacks. He's turned the ball over 4 times in 2 games. It's for all those reasons, and it's in Buffalo, are the reasons I'm picking Buffalo to win and to cover. So far my pick record, win-loss for 2 weeks is 21-9. Week 2 I was 11-5 in picking winners. Against the spread of overall, I'm 14-16. The mad frowny face is because don't like 14-16. I was 7-9 this week. I got off to a good start, but 4 o'clock on Monday night did me in. Hopefully we can do better in week 3. We'll see about that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to like it, I'd appreciate it. If you want to subscribe, leave me a comment. Tell me how terrible of a picker I am. That's fine. So just let me, give me some feedback. If there's something you want to see or I can do better, just let me know. All right. I'll talk to you later.